And more than 5,000 people are presumed dead and at least 10,000 missing after heavy rains lashed northeastern Libya. The situation in Deran, which is the Libyan port city, has been described as disastrous beyond comprehension. An Interior Ministry spokesperson confirmed that the death toll due to severe flooding has crossed the 5,300 mark in the city of Deran. The city's ambulance authority had earlier pegged the toll at 2,300. On the other hand, Libya's envoy to the International Federation of Red Cross said that at least 10,000 residents were reported missing in the northeastern Libya. His comments came during a UN briefing in Geneva. Later on Tuesday, he added that more than 40,000 residents have been displaced in the affected regions.
The initial numbers we are getting from the Libyan Red Crescent about the missed people all over the 5 cities, it reaches up to or very close to 10,000 persons reported missing. So it's very likely that the number declared from Deran authorities could be close to the correct number. This is to be confirmed, as I mentioned earlier, upon the finalization of the assessment process. However, the number I would expect that the number would be very close to the correct one.
And assuring aid, Libya's Prime Minister said that the country has sufficient medical supplies and equipment. He added that the efforts of the Navy and the divers were focused on those extractions.
احنا مش محتاجين لهذه المعونات ولا حتى الادويه ولا حتى المعدات ولا حتى الدكاتره ولا حتى سيارات اسعاف، الحمد لله ممكن فاتت تو 400 سياره اسعاف اللي هو مشهور. عندنا مشكله في انتشال الجثث من البحر، وهذا قاعدين حتى البحريه الليبيه وبعض الغواصين وبعض الضفادع البشريه قاعدين يحاولوا بكل جهدهم في انتشال الجثث.
Now visuals on your screens right now. It shows the emergency workers uncovering hundreds of bodies in the region and the victims' skin, who were then seen burying their dead in mass graves on Tuesday.
طبعا ضحايا ان شاء الله ربي يستر، وما زال ندوروا على الضحايا قاعدين، لكن نتمنى من فزعة شباب الليبيين اللي عنده اي شهاده ولا اي علاقه بالطب يعني يجي يساعدنا، فهمت؟ يعني نحن صار معناها في نقص في التمريض، شباب يعني تبذل في مجهود ومستحقين الشباب بتاعين تمريض باش يجوا يساعدونا. والخيره في مختاره الله، وان شاء الله الله سبحانه وتعالى يغفر لهم ويسكن لهم فسيح جناته ان شاء الله، وان شاء الله يا رب يلم الشمل على البلاد وبارك الله فيهم، طرابلس ومصراتة وزيطن وليبيا كلها وطن واحد.
Visuals obtained from a Deran resident showed the moment after the Wadi Dam there collapsed. The entire residential blocks were erased along the river that runs down from the mountains through the city centre.
إلى عند الطريق هذا من فوق، عارفين عجمات درنا، هذا السد، كان هناك سد.
The multi-story apartment buildings that once stood well back from the river were partially collapsed into mud.
عاد انهار السد ضيق فوقي، السد الاول والسد الثاني هذا هو اللي اوطى من هذا. هذا كان مرتفع تقريبا في 50 40 متر تو ضيق. 40 متر. هذا 40 متر. 40 متر جاي فوق من دارنا. يعني اللي يقول لك خشت عليه ميه الدور الرابع والدور الخامس هذه هي ما فيها الشك. عوض الله. هذه دارنا منكوبه. شهادات محليه طبعا ما يصير منها شيء، هي شهادات دوليه.
The residents there described the scenes of chaos when floods hit the center. They heard loud explosions at night and realized that the dams outside the city had collapsed, sending a wall of water that erased everything in its way.
طبعا السد هو كان متعبي من قبل وما فضوش، فهو انضغط فطربق السد الكبير الفوقي، فهو اللي خلى السيل ينزل علينا بقوه، يعني حسبة ارتفاعها 12 متر، يعني 12 متر حسبة عمار، فالناس ما كانت حسبة ان حسبة البحر يطلع عليه، مش حسبة السد.
While outside help was only just starting to reach Deran on Tuesday, more than 36 hours after the disaster struck. Several countries and human rights groups offered aid as the rescue teams scrambled to find the survivors. The International Rescue Committee said that the country faces an unprecedented humanitarian crisis in the wake of the disaster.
قمنا بتوجيه الحكومة لتشكيل لجنة متخصصة لتقييم الأضرار وضرورة البدء الفوري في إعادة رصف الطرق المدمرة وربطها بالطرق المعبدة لتسهيل حركة التنقل وإعادة التيار الكهربائي واتخاذ كافة التدابير اللازمة الفورية في هذا الخصوص. وعلى جميع الجهات الرسمية خاصة مصرف ليبيا المركزي توفير التمويل المالي المطلوب والعاجل.
Apart from IRC, Turkish aircraft delivering humanitarian aid also arrived in Libya. According to Turkey's Emergency Management Authority on Tuesday, the Turkish president said that the country would send at least 168 search and rescue teams and humanitarian aid to the region there. Not only this, Italy has also stepped up to help and said that the country will be sending a civil defense team to assist with the rescue operations. Assessing the severity of the situation, the World Food Programme also offered to help and is now preparing to send food to Libya's northeast. The Deputy Director of Emergency said that the World Food Programme was ready to provide food to 5,000 families in Libya.
At the moment, as I said, we don't necessarily have a good understanding of the scope, but we're at the moment standing ready to provide food to 5,000 families that are affected by these floods in the northeast. We have teams on the ground now. We have staff that have deployed to Benghazi, which seems to be the closest we can get at the moment to the disaster area, and they're working very closely with the government to understand and to assess those communities that are in need.
Well, the startling death and devastation caused by Storm Daniel pointed to the storm's intensity, but also the vulnerability of a nation that has been torn apart by chaos for more than a decade. Libya remains divided between two rival administrations, one in the east and one in the west, each backed by militias and foreign governments. And because of this very conflict, the oil-rich country is now crumbling and suffering extensively due to weathering infrastructure.